Okay, we're live. We're live! Hi, everybody. Hello. Good morning and a happy Monday, depending on where you are in the world. I'm hopping on 5 minutes early to make sure everyone finds their self here okay, gets settled in, has a minute to get your coffee or tea or water or wine or whatever. And I also wanted to take a couple minutes in the beginning just to introduce myself because I know that I haven't met many of you before. And if we're going to be hanging out for the next 5 days, I don't want us to be strangers at all. Hi, Sam. Good afternoon. What time is it for you? Oh, yeah, I guess it is the afternoon, not the morning, huh? It's probably about noon or so for you, I guess. Okay, so let me know when you guys get here. Jump on, leave a comment. The more that you are present, the more points you get towards the giveaway, which I'll talk about in a second. So at noon, I'll start to go through some of the housekeeping stuff, just what to expect this week, my expectations from you, what you can expect from me. I'll run through the giveaway, what kind of emails you can expect, all that stuff. Okay, you're in sunny Florida. Oh, so jealous. I'm in Buffalo, New York. For you guys don't know, I am in the cold weather, and I'm not a cold weather person in any way, shape, or form. And this morning, it's super gray and cold, and it's like a very typical fall New York morning. 5 p.m. in the UK. Okay, Hannah, you might be having something else besides coffee. Hi, Ash. Hi. Hey, Erica. Hey, Michaela. Oh, okay. Catch the replay. We'll see you later. So just like I'll give you like a quick 2 minutes of my story. I actually just did a presentation for college students last week, and I was telling them like the 5 years, the last 5 years of my life essentially is what the presentation was about. But the title of the talk was called "From Sorority Sister and Chicken Wing Waitress to Multi Six Figure Earner." And in the last 5 years, my life has been all over the place. I have always been like type A, 5 year plan. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly how I'm going to get there. And if you stand in my way, so help me God, or really, so help you. But I've always been very driven and really ambitious. The problem, though, in the beginning of my story is I was way too attached. And I thought it was going to be my way. And I thought it was going to be on my timetable. And as I'm sure many of you can guess, it was not. And that was a really hard lesson for me to learn, especially like 18, 19, 20, 21, and those like really pivotal years of your life. I was going through some huge awakenings around surrender, and I didn't even really know it. So I went to, hi, Victoria. Hey, girl, hey. I went to school originally for entrepreneurship. Maybe I'll give you guys this presentation. I'll do it 1 week or a day in here if you guys want to learn a little bit more about me. But essentially, I went to school. I thought I was going to be an event planner, and then I switched my major to hospitality and tourism, and I thought I was going to work in like hotels and travel, and then I switched to psychology because I've always been very fascinated by the brain. And then I switched to criminal justice because I really loved the classes I was taking for criminal justice. So by the end of my college career, I'd switched my major 4 times, and I still managed to graduate early. And I have no idea how that happened, by the grace of God, honestly. But I graduated early. I got a 9 to 5. I was an investigator for an at-home healthcare agency, and it didn't last more than 3 months. That was my first and last 9 to 5, and I've always had the entrepreneurial bug in me, but I didn't always know that's what it was because when I was in school for business and I was taking like economic classes, I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, fuck no. We're not going to do this. I can't do this. My brain doesn't work like that. But I ended up graduating. I got halfway through my master's. I was going for my master's in criminology. I was writing my thesis. I was planning a wedding. And I was dead broke, completely broke. No idea what to do because I was like, well, I don't want to pursue this job. I left my job. I dropped out of grad school. I was like, I just don't want to finish this. I know it's not what I want to do. I was planning a wedding in Jamaica. We both had like not really great jobs. We were both moving out from our parents for the first time. So we had all these new bills and just new life experiences. Like, it was a really hard season in life for the both of us. And I hit my rock bottom moment. And again, this is like the very condensed version. But the moment that I decided I had enough was the moment that my life changed. And I think everyone has a different threshold for pain and tolerance, and I think it has a lot to do with self-belief and worthiness. But at that season in my life, that was my threshold where I was like, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to struggle financially, and I'm not going to job jump anymore. Like, this just can't be. And so I will never forget, it was the winter of 2017, and I was like, 2018 is going to be my year. I want to work from home. I want to work with social media, and I want to make good money, and I want to make good money fast. I'm so, like, I never really bought into the, you have to like work 10 years up the corporate ladder to get like a 10K salary increase. Like, that was just, you guys can see I'm speedy, right? I want to get there, and I want to get there yesterday. And so that whole model of success, it was always like we were just on different planes. It never clicked in with me. Okay, see you later, Victoria. So I set those two standards, and it made no sense. Like, I hadn't done anything in social media before, and I didn't really have experience to work from home, but that was all the clarity I had at the moment. So February of 2018, I landed a job at a digital marketing agency that I can say now, like, I totally didn't deserve. And I wasn't qualified, but the belief and the energy was there, and I really believe that's what got me the position. So I spent the next several years completely immersed in digital marketing, and I learned funnels, and I learned strategy, and I learned launches, and I worked behind the scenes of huge entrepreneurial accounts, and I was managing multi-million-dollar launches, and I fell in love. And I wanted to learn everything I possibly can, and I did learn everything I possibly can. I got promoted 5 times within the 2.5 years I worked at that agency. I was the senior strategist. I was responsible for managing teams and clients, and I really fell into my zone. So, long story short, I was like, if I can do this for other people, I can do this for me. And I started to apply it to myself. And I was like, I'm going to have my own launch. And mind you, at this time I had no brand, no following, no offer, no nothing. I was starting from the ground up. And if you are in that place, like, I was there with you. I was starting from the ground up with nothing. But 2 months into my business, I managed to have a 5-figure launch. I did 10K in sales the second month of my business with a $497 offer, brand new audience. It was crazy. And I was like, I can do this. I could do this. I could do it well. I could teach it. I could teach it well. So I came out of the gate swinging, just loving launches. And I have this because I wanted to show this to you guys. When I had that first launch, I had this cute $10 bill. And I want to just like really let you guys know, this season, like, this $10 bill meant a lot to us in that season, where like $10 was like gas or like a couple more groceries or something to put towards the bills. Like, money at this time in my life, 2017, early 2018, it was like we were scrapping by. We were just starting our marriage, and we wanted a dog, and we were like, we literally can't even get a puppy because we can't afford like our basics. How are we going to afford vets and dog food and all these things? Like, I remember the topic of like, was like, we really just wanted like new socks and underwear, but that was like a luxury at that point. So just wanted to paint that picture, because I took this $10 bill and I was like, I'm going to reserve this $10 bill, and I'm going to make it into a $10,000 bill, and I'm going to put it on my mirror, and I'm going to look it in the face every motherfucking day until it becomes real $10,000. And 2 months later, it did. And so this $10 is very special to me. We literally didn't even have proper tape. There's medical tape on the side of it. You guys probably can't see it a little bit, but it's like the most janky ass tape you could stick on a dollar bill. This was an Expo marker. We didn't even have Sharpie, and I'll never spend this, and I'll never let it go. I should actually frame it, because clearly there's wear and tear, but I feel like there's character behind it. So this is where it all started. This was my first launch, and this is I don't even know how many launches we've done, but since then we've never ever done a launch under $10,000. And I'm excited for you guys to be here because as you can see in my, this 10-minute summary, I'm a total Cancer. You guys, I get emotional when I talk about things that are like really true. So you will maybe likely see me like cry a few times this week. Total transparency. But I wanted to tell you that going into launch party week because I wanted to share with you how launching changed my life. It changed my entire life, and it seemed to have changed in the moment. And yeah, there were like years and decisions being made, but it's like in that one moment, everything changes. And that's why I'm passionate about launching, because it can be the same for you, and it can be quick, and it can be magical, and it can be life-changing, and not beyond financial freedom. I think that's like a byproduct. It's a byproduct. Of course, you're going to make money if you're an entrepreneur and you're launching. It's bound to happen, but it's the other levels and dimensions of freedom that having these launches can unlock for you in your business, and your freedom within yourself, and your freedom with your finances, and your freedom with your time. And it is the one thing that I look back on where it's like my life changed from that moment on. And now I'm going to share all the things with you guys this week. So please be here. Please show up. It's so worth it. You're going to walk away with so many good nuggets to apply to your business, to have that first launch or next launch, wherever you are. I don't ever believe launching really stops when you're an entrepreneur. Whatever way you want to paint it, I don't think it ever stops. Whether you're launching your podcast, or maybe you have a new lead magnet, or you have a webinar or a challenge you want to promote, or an offer or a Black Friday promo, whatever it is, it's launching. Let's go into some housekeeping stuff. We'll start on the training, and then you guys can ask any questions that are coming up for you. So if you didn't see, we are doing a launch party week goodie bag giveaway. The way that's going to work, there are going to be 5 winners. There's going to be 3 different prizes. There's a grand prize, there's a second place prize, and then the 3 in third place will all get the same prize. So 3 different prizes, 5 winners. It is so fucking simple to get points. All you literally have to do is be here to participate. So if you're on the training live, my VA is recording that. If you're catching the replay, hashtagging replay, my VA is recording that. Every time you comment, every time you share your takeaway, every time that you are present in launch party week, or you're tagging me on Instagram with your takeaway, anything like that, you're going to get points. We are going to be posting a leaderboard every single day. So tomorrow you guys will get the first update of where you have fallen with all of the points, so you can gauge where you are. We'll show the top 10 because, believe it or not, there's almost 1,000 of you guys signed up for launch party week. So it's going to be a literal party, and there's a lot to keep track of. So we will record the top 10. And then as the week unfolds, I will let you know what some of those prizes are. The biggest hint around the grand prize, I'm so excited, it is going to be something physical that's sent in the mail to you that only you will have. Nobody else has access to this yet. Nobody else can get their hands on it yet. They won't be able to for a long while, and you are going to be the first exclusive one to get this little goodie bag in the mail. And then we're going to pair that grand prize, I'll reveal what those are, with a donation to a cause or charity of your choice, which I was like, I could do a coaching call. I could give away a program or whatever. But in this season and in this life especially, I would love to give you that physical gift and also make a donation in your name to your cause of choice. So that's the grand prize part of it. And it's going to be fun. So just be here, be present, be participating, and we'll take care of the rest and let you guys know where you are on the point scale. So, with all that being said, let's get started. Launch Party Week is to celebrate, so many things, but I host Launch Party Week. This is the first year, actually, ever. We've done it twice in a year. Usually this bad boy comes around once a year, and we go all the fuck out. And it's a big event. We block off a month in my calendar, and it's very intense. This year we're doing it twice a year. And the reason being is because we host Launch Party Week to launch five figure flow. And you guys have probably heard what 5-figure flow is by now, because we've been talking about it for the past honestly 3 months as we've been upgrading it. 5-figure flow is my launch process where I looked at the last 3 to 5 years of my business and I said, what worked? What worked again and again and again and again, no matter what the business model? What are those things? What are those strategies? What are those tactics? What are those phrases? What are those sales strategies? What are those things that work on anyone in any business at any point? Because there are elements to a successful launch that are like the foundation. And then I said, okay, that's great. That's a start. That's not the end all though. What are all of the things that I have done and learned and innovated and played with and had fun with and it was energizing to me? Like, what was my flair on it that can take it from this overwhelming and daunting process to something that's flirty and young and thriving? I just watched 13 going on 30 and she was like 30, flirty and thriving. I don't know. That just like came to me. But, and then I put it into a process and I said, I'm going to do this on myself again and again and again and again to make sure it works. I want this launch process to be a proven launch process. It worked on me. I said, okay, great. That's step one. Now let me make sure it works on other people in other fields, in other industries, with other business models, with different audience sizes. Let me make sure that this launch process is similar to the sisterhood of the traveling pants, where no matter your shape, your size, where you are in the world, it is going to fit you perfectly as if they were yours all along. Like, that was my whole goal behind 5-figure flow. The program has been birthed to give so many of my clients 5 and multi-5-figure launches, and it is a repeatable, proven process. I take all of the guesswork and all of the thinking and all of the questions out of launching and totally hand it over to you. So that launches tomorrow. The doors open tomorrow. I'm not going to take too much of your time to talk about that because you guys will be seeing a lot of that over the next 10 days when the enrollment period is open. I have some of my amazing clients on here that's already hyping up 5-figure flow. It's my child. It's like literally my baby. And we spent the last 3 months overhauling the content. Because here's something, and this is kind of a nice segue into talking about creating profitable, transformative offers. If you are teaching on something, anything, it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. If you're going to be an expert at something, and I believe like an expert, it's true mastery, right? Like, I don't want to just like know the basics. I want to truthfully be full mastery in anything I'm doing, especially if I'm teaching it. And what I have learned, especially in the context of 5-figure flow is a great example, you can't just create it once and let the dust collect on it. And there's so much lingo in this online space of like, set it and forget it, record it once and set it on autopilot. I am getting heart palpitations like hearing that. Hell no. Like, I don't believe in that philosophy at all. And let me tell you why. Context of 5-figure flow, let's say, and launching. The strategies that worked a year ago may not work anymore. The emails that I wrote a year and a half ago, maybe we've tried other subject lines and we've seen better successes. That, approach maybe was great 3 months ago, but things are ever changing. Things are ever changing because we're ever changing. You're ever changing. I'm ever changing. Every time we kind of step into our zone of genius and do our thing, and for me, my thing is like launching. So every launch I have, I'm learning and I'm documenting and I'm collecting data. And if I were to just set and forget 5-figure flow, that would be a huge disservice for all of you, but to me too, because I wouldn't be fully in a state of mastery and then infusing that into my offer. So we just redid all of 5-figure flow. Some of the curriculum stayed the same. Some of it changed. Resources were updated. Slides were updated. Branding was updated. Everything evolved. When people enroll in programs that say they have like lifetime updates, I think it's important that like updating that is a part of the business model, and it's something that you're forward looking at and you're always going back to. So let's talk about offers. Let me pull up my notes and we'll get right into it. You guys, the comments, I'm loving this. I'm living for this. You guys are loving the grand prize. Yes, 5-figure flow going 30 and flirty and thriving. Yes, Alicia, thank you. That is it. That's exactly it. I watched that last week. Sisterhood, yes, love that reference. 5-figure flow is better than chocolate. That might be my favorite testimonial ever. Okay. Hasn't COVID shown us that we can't get comfortable? Yay. Okay. So here's what I want to talk to you guys about today. When we're talking about creating an offer that is your offer is going to do two things at the end of the day. It's going to get someone else on the other end a transformation. You are going to serve them, and you are going to give them a result, an awakening, a new belief, a resource, an insert, whatever here. So leading with service always, it's going to give them something. Secondary though, it's going to help your business grow. And so it has to be profitable in some way, shape, or form. And I see a lot of people getting hung up around pricing, especially when it comes to different levels of offers, or if it's your first offer, you're ready to raise your rates. There's a lot of like weird energy around pricing. So I want to talk to you guys about that briefly today. So it's supposed to do those two things. And now we're going to talk about how do we come to create an offer that our audience cannot wait to get our hands on, right? It's like when we're creating an offer and we are putting it out into the world and we're launching it, my like standard for reaction is for you guys on the other side to be like, this is exactly what I needed. Like, this is the miracle I've been waiting for. Like, oh my gosh, you can't put a price on what you're offering because that end goal is exactly what I've been seeking. So anything less than that, it like doesn't do it for me. So when we're in the early stages of offer development, I want you guys to even get into like the vibe and the energy of like, this drops to the world. How are people reacting? Like, are they like, thank God, finally, let me throw my money at you? Or are you in a state where you're questioning from the very beginning of like, when I launch this thing, what if nobody fucking wants it? What if it's just crickets? Because those two states of mind, you're going to infuse into everything else you create from that moment forward. So you have to make that decision from early on, setting that standard of like, this is going to be the thing that they've been waiting for, that they really cannot wait to get their hands on. And that starts with the transformation. So getting really, really clear on, this is something that I go over when I teach how to create a high converting offer. The first question I want you to ask yourself is, what's the point? And it's so blunt, and it's not like all pretty with bows of like, well, what is the viable transformation? It's like, no, what's the point? Why should people care about this? What is the point of your offer? Because if you cannot answer that from the very beginning, you're going to lose people. I believe that when you are developing your offer, at the same time, you're developing your marketing message. Most people look at those as two separate entities. They will develop the offer and they will get all the bells and whistles, and there's modules and coaching calls and curriculum and blah, 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 blah. How are we going to sell this thing? I'm like, what? Like, those aren't separate things. If you were really being intentional in the build out, you would know what the marketing message is. If you were asking yourself the right questions in the beginning, you would know how you were going to go out and sell that thing. And so the first question then becomes, what's the point? So I want you guys to start to think through this. If you have an offer that you have, or that you're wanting to create, just let me know what's coming up for you. When I say what's the point of, insert your program name here, in 3 sentences or less, you should be able to tell me what the point is and why people should care. And so for 5-figure flow, it's so you can plan and execute 5-figure launches with ease. All the guesswork, all the overwhelm, it's taken out of it. You can plug and play. The program grows with you. Boom. We knew that before 5-figure flow existed because we were very, very clear on what the point was. Truth be told, there's a million courses, there's a million coaching programs, a million masterminds, a million service providers, a million e-commerce based businesses. And I'm not saying there's not room. Like, that's not the tone I'm going into this little rant with. But my point is, you have to be so crystal clear on why yours is so unique and so special. And you need to be so clear on how to communicate that with your people. Because if you don't, someone else will. Someone else will. What is the motherfucking point? So asking yourself that is the first question. Then we start to go into, okay, what's the point? Who's it for? What's the point and who's it for? 2 life-changing questions when it comes to building out your offer. And I'm going to give you guys the 5 questions. I wasn't sure if I was going to go down this path today. That's another thing about my coaching style, and you guys will see. I'm in a very solid state of self-belief and self-trust, and I believe this is my life's work. And so a lot of the times I don't get caught up in like the perfect details, but I really am just a channel. So like all morning I literally sat in breath work and I played my vibey music and I was like, what am I going to deliver today? And I have a few points, but I was like, I'm just going to let it come through. So you guys can expect probably a little bit of that all over the placeness coming this week. So who's it for? The number one hang up I see people getting caught up on, especially when it comes to marketing, the offer that they're creating, is that they think it's for everyone. And they think they only have one ideal client. And it's because that's just the way, like, it, you know, if you go to business school, which I didn't last very long there, clearly, like they tell you have an ideal client. I believe you have an ideal client for every program, and I don't believe that they're the same people. I believe that the ideal client for my profitable partnership scaling to $500,000, like they are going to be having completely different struggles than someone who is a launch virgin. Scaling to $500,000, never launched before in their life. They are thinking different thoughts. They are believing different beliefs. They have different goals. They're using different language. They are at different points in their business, in their life, in their journey. So I have this overreaching target market of like I serve female entrepreneurs, obviously. However, there are different parts of your journey where you need different things. So you have to consider that in the offer development process to say, okay, what is the point? And also, who is this for? Who is this person? Where are they in their story? What beliefs are they buying into that's not serving them? What are the myths? What are the stories that are holding them back? What are the next immediate goals for them? Where are they finding themselves getting caught up? Like really diving into their heart, into their soul, into their belief system, into their subconscious, because you have to understand where they are to create this offer. But again, we all have it. It's like fucked up. It's like we create the offer. Then we're like, who's this for? Where are they at? What are they like? What? How can you create an offer for that person if you create the offer and then you're trying to like mold the person to it? Does that make sense, you guys? Let me catch up on some of the comments because y'all are going crazy and I'm so here for it. Ashley, so you could be a world-class coach and create endless breakthroughs for your clients and stand out as an industry leader. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That's so potent and concise and powerful and clear. Make all the steps this way, working on marketing. We don't usually do it like this. Physical product. The product answers a serious need. Can you clarify the best way to message out what's the point and who it's for? It's also laid out in the product offering. Yes, I will circle back to that. Clear message will match coaches with a college audience so they get paid speaking gigs. I love your coaching style. Thanks, guys. Need some of that energy. I get hung up making sure I say the perfect thing. I totally feel that. You need that energy. Okay, you guys are great. I love this. Makes sense. It's about different needs and their satisfaction. The point is, if you're an exhausted entrepreneur, my program will give you the plan so you can build your business. Love that. Light bulb, I feel so constrained. Yes, of course, Cynthia. We can chat about this too offline if you want. Okay, so that's the second question. We're not even in what does this offer look like yet. Like we're not in the realm of is this a course? Is this a coaching program? How many modules? What should, like, we're not there yet. We're still talking about what's the point? Who is it for? Now, the third question is, what do they need? What does that person in that place need to achieve that transformation? So we're always like working backwards in this like thought stream of questions, because what you're going to want to do now is get very clear on what that person needs to reach that journey. And so circling back to 5-figure flow, and that's why I love teaching launching too, because I can be so like transparent as fuck on these things and be like, hey guys, we're doing this because of this, or this is an example of how we did this in my own launch, and like now you're gonna go launch and do it too. And it's just like, I love peeling back the curtain, and just, this is my jam. So so with 5-figure flow, it was like, okay, 5-figure launches. People want 5-figure launches, but they want to be able to launch before that, and they want to be able to launch after that. And so what does that look like? Is it a mastermind? Is it a self-study course? Is it a hybrid? Is it a continuation program? Is it Q&A sessions? We've had 5-figure flow structured a couple times, and I think we finally found its rhythm, but we had to ask ourselves, like, what does that person need who is, they have a business, maybe they have a team, maybe they don't. Okay, well now that's breaking up into 2 different pathways, because if you have a team, or if you don't have a team, or if you're using ads or you're not using ads, or there's these fork in the road things that we were working through when building out 5-figure flow. So we were like, okay, we can build the curriculum around that. That's why there's so much focus on the launch virgin, the launch learner, and the launch lover, because there are different pathways within the course. So you can come in and wherever you're at, and you can dive right in. So I knew, okay, people are going to need a hybrid. They're going to need the how. I don't want to get on a coaching call week after week and teach the same thing when I can record it once and have it in a course. So it's a hybrid. But there's also shit that comes up during a launch. There's mindset stuff, there's resources, there's questions, you're in sales conversations. So I knew it needed an element of support. And then I also knew it needed an element of like tangible resources. There's emails, and you have to write social posts and Instagram captions and all the things like content wise. So I was like, okay, plug and play templates and resources, putting it in there, thinking about what they need in order to reach the transformation. Sometimes that might look like a Slack channel. Sometimes it might look like this needs to be so hands-on. Sometimes it might need to be like, well, I could actually just create some trainings and that would give them exactly what they need for where they're at. There's really no right or wrong answer, and I want you guys to adapt this belief. This is something that I learned from my own mentor, is that right or wrong doesn't actually exist. It's just like, is it correct or is it incorrect for you and for your clients? So I think we can relieve a lot of pressure when we start to just ask ourselves, is this correct or incorrect for me and my client right now? There's no right or wrong. You're not fucking doing it wrong. You cannot fuck it up if you've possibly tried. You can go ahead and try, and you are going to be astounded in the belief that like, oh wow, I'm still on the path. I'm still doing the thing. You can't fuck it up. So relieve that pressure. And in this third question of like, well, what does it look like then, and what do they need? This is where you start to actually build the offer. So this is where you will decide, is it a course or a program or a hybrid, or what are the things that go into it? Because the fourth question you're going to ask yourself is, why is this unique? How is this unique? There are a million people out there that can teach you how to launch. Why am I different? Needing to be able to answer that is huge. What makes it unique? So just like riffing off of that 5-figure flow, what makes it unique? Well, it's broken up into 3 pathways because it's supposed to grow with you. So if you've never launched before, we are going to shield your beautiful eyes from all of the talk about funnels and tech stuff and Facebook ads. You don't need to know that right now. That's just going to get in the way of where you're going. When you're ready to step into that pathway, we will unlock it for you, and you can have all of those resources. But it's really meant to meet you where you're at, so you can plug and play and go and run and grow. And so you can go into the next section. I've never, ever seen a launch course that was built in this way. That's what makes it different. But it's not by coincidence. It's not by accident. It's because we were asking ourselves these questions as the program was being built to life. It wasn't an afterthought. I didn't build the program and then say, what makes this different? I asked myself, how can I make this program different? How can I make it unique? And I infused that from the very, very beginning. And then the 5th question is, okay, why is it unique? And why do they need it now? I'm just going to pause and like, let that weight, let you feel that weight. Why now? Why not next time? Why not next time? Why now? Being able to answer that from the very beginning before the offer even exists will change the course of your business. Because there is something called I believe it's a Parkinson's law of time, if you guys have heard of it. And it essentially says, with however much time we are given, we will take. And so if we know that we have, a month to make a decision, probably going to take about 20 to 25 days to actually make that decision. If we only had 5 days, then we'd make it a lot sooner. But it's essentially however much time we're given, we take. And so if people know, like, oh, she's just going to open it up next month, I can enroll next month, then they're going to take the time that they're given. And so this is where you have to combat that, to say, okay, but why now? And maybe it's just you have a bonus that you're not going to offer next time. So yeah, you can join in 3 months, but you're not going to get this. Or there's an extended payment plan that I don't know if I'm going to offer in the future. Or maybe it's not even anything like tactical speaking, because those are all kind of like strategies and things to sprinkle in. But even the core transformation. So you guys may be in a conversation with me over the next 2 weeks for 5-figure flow enrollment where you're like, oh, I really need this. I just don't know if the time is right. And my question is going to be like, how many times have you tried to DIY it? And I love you so much. Even if we've never spoke before, I love you all so much for being here. But there's a reason you're here. There's a reason you're here, and there's a reason it's not working for you. I want you to look at the results you've gotten so far, and if you don't love them, then something needs to change, and that's the why now. Because you can go through 5-figure flow, and in 6 weeks have your first 10K launch, and your whole path can be different, just like mine was. So you can wait, but why prolong that transformation? Why keep trying to do it your way when I'm handing you all the answers and the strategies and the tools and the resources? You know what I mean? So it's really just going back to, and it's all stringing back to each other, right? So we have the why now, goes back to the transformation. It's going to talk to who it's for. It's going to go through the structure of the curriculum. It's going to go through why you're so unique and why your program is different than the rest, and why it's important to make that decision now. But do you guys see how easy it can be? That was 5 questions. I will be sure to post them after so you guys can re-go through them. But those are 5 questions in the offer development stage that is going to change the way that you create an offer, because there's going to be so much more intention behind the questions that you're asking. A lot of the times I feel like the process is just like, I want to create a course. I'm going to price it at $500 and like, that's it. That's the process. Like we literally haven't even talked about price yet. But that's the thought and the intention that goes behind a high transformative offer. The second piece I want to talk about, and this is something that I'm very passionate about, but there's so many comments. Hang on, let me pause to catch up on these. There's so many gems in this. I'm going to need to watch it again. Oh, love that. Love that. Love that. I cried tears of joy when I saw all the resources. I cried tears of joy creating them, because I was literally thinking, like, what would be game-changing for me at that state. I love that you have different educational paths for this. However much time we are given, we will take. Powerful. I'm back. Hey, Victoria. How many times have you tried to declutter your home and then the clutter is back in days? Oh, I feel seen. I feel seen, Erica, and I like automatically want to know more about what you're saying and how I can hire you. Do you see how impactful that is? I don't think there's anything wrong with making somebody feel seen, because I think this is another thing I was like teaching in my presentation to the college students, is that life is a mirror. It's a mirror. And so I think it's the most powerful thing we can do as leaders to hold up that mirror in the most loving way. And if you guys read the enrollment page, I'll drop the link tomorrow. There's a part on the sales page that says, like, how many times have you tried to do it? Like, I love you, but this whole, like, it literally says, I love you, but this whole Lone Ranger thing is not going to work for you anymore. It's just not. That's why you're here. And so I think incorporating that into your marketing message is absolutely essential. It cuts through the noise. I'm like so sick of the noise. I'm so sick of the surface level garbage. Like, I want depth. I want you to speak to my soul. I want to know that you see me and that you hear me and that you understand me. Because if I know all of those things, I'm going to be so confident that you can help me. And I'm going to feel even more confident and assured in my investment in you. And I think now more than ever, people are taking the people they're investing with so seriously and making sure that they're investing in a place where they are safe and nurtured and cared for and accounted for. And you can do that in the language that you use well before you get to the sale by just cutting through the noise, by infusing this intention behind it. Okay, I got to go on to talk about the next thing or else I'm literally going to be here. I always say, my trainings will be about 30 minutes. They never fucking are. Let's just be honest. If you guys have this in your calendar, we're probably going to hang out an hour, give or take, every day. So just bear with me. Okay, second thing I want to talk about when it comes to, okay, 3 more things. I can do this. Okay, implementation. How many of us, by raise of hands, and I will raise my hand and I will raise it high because this is so true for me, how many of you guys have bought courses or resources or offers or programs and you didn't fully use them? How many of you have signed up to programs where you just didn't fully show up? How many of you bought courses that you like went through the first module and then you were like, oh my God, fuck this shit. Or like you just never came back for it because there was never a reason to. How many times have we invested in something and we didn't see it through? Maybe not invest. How many times have you downloaded a freebie or signed up for one of these challenges for free and have never seen it through? We all have. If you say no, you're lying. I don't like lying. It's true. It's just true. The reason that it's true is because this backwards process we're talking about. Because the courses that you're enrolling with are like, I'm going to create a course for this amount, and it goes off into the world, and we're not thinking about what happens after. And that's the thing about launching and sales and offers that you guys will hear me talk about as the week goes on is like, once they enroll, you guys will also learn this about me too. When I have something serious to say, I literally pick up my mic and I pretend I am a pop star. But when they enroll, when they give you their credit card information, your journey is just beginning. Your job is just starting. I see way too many motherfucking people, and they don't mean it. They just don't know any better. They create the course, they price the offer, they get people in, and they piece the fuck out, and they're on to the next shiny thing, the next offer, the next sales goal, and it's a lot centered around me, and it's not a lot centered around them. And we need to be focused on them. When people buy with you, they are just getting started. You haven't even begun your work yet. I think that's why I always say like launching is an art, because there's been so much heavy lifting and energy and work that's going into this, and like we're not even near the first step. Whenever whoever of you guys come into 5-figure flow, that's when my job starts. That is the moment the work begins on my piece, because we are just getting started, and my end goal isn't just to take your money. My end goal is to make sure that you reach your end goal. And the way that you reach your end goal is through implementation. It's through application. There is no secret sauce. There is no sexy something. It is literally through doing the work. And so now when we're putting together our offers, let me get my mic back in the stand. That's another thing we have to consider. How are they going to implement? How are we going to make sure they're implementing? How can we make the application process crystal clear? People do not need more information. God knows that. We have Google, we have Pinterest, we have Reddit, like we have so many resources. We have YouTube. We can go out and find the information. And if information was the key, then we would all be successful multimillionaires growing empires, right? But that's not the case, because information isn't the secret. Implementation is the secret. Taking what you know and knowing exactly how to apply it. I'm getting chills. I just like really am feeling this and receiving this. That's the secret. That's the secret to success. You want the secret to success? Show up and do the work. Honestly. But we have a responsibility as hosts of these programs, as creators, as leaders, as mentors, as coaches, as consultants, as service providers. We have a responsibility to do everything on our part to make that implementation seamless. I'm not talking about holding hands. I'm not talking about micromanagement. I'm not talking about babysitting your clients, because I don't do that. I'm not about that life. But what I will do is I will make sure that it is very clear what the next step is for them to implement. And so in 5-Figure Flow, there's checkpoints. Every single lesson says, here's your next step. Here's your next step. Here's how exactly to apply this. This is your next to-do off your checklist. Because especially when we're going through courses or learning new things or walking towards that like achieved transformation, it's a lot. We're probably learning a new skill. We're probably learning something that's unfamiliar. And so we can kind of like, be all over the place. We have so many ideas and we're like, how do we even apply this? Where do we start? What's the next thing? What if you could just tell them what the next thing is? So in 5-Figure Flow, it's like, here's your next thing and here's the resource. Go write this email and oh, here's a template. Go do this and oh, by the way, here's a thing to make your life easier. The elevation of that is insane. The transformation that you can reach when you are thinking it through that much for your clients is insane. The reason that 5-Figure Flow has a track record of getting 5-Figure launch after 5-Figure launch after 5-Figure launch is because we've set it up to make sure that you follow through. It's not a matter of if it works. The question is, are you going to do the work? Are you going to show up? That's a question. And so when we're creating these offers, I want you to think about, how can I introduce implementation? It doesn't need to be a radical, scary, overwhelming thing. It can be just giving them the next steps in the lesson. It can be just sending out an email checkpoint to say, hey, I've noticed you've been in the course for 30 days. Like, you can literally automate this shit. You could automate anything nowadays. Just checking in with them a month later. Hey, I've seen you've been in the program for a month. Like, you should be about here. How are you? How can I help you get brought up to speed? Different questions like that. So now I want to go from, actually, let me catch up on the comments. Y'all are awesome. Your journey is just beginning and your job is just starting. Client experience is the best referral. I believe in client experience through and through and through. Oh, Victoria, I love you. Love you, girl. Love you long time. Getting so hyped. Ashley, I love when you pop in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Secret to success, show up and do the work. I'm so sorry if that's not as sexy as you guys thought. We always say it's not what you know, it's what you can show. Oh, that's so good. I love that. I love that. Okay, cool. Let me start to segue to wrap it up. Can't believe we've been here for almost an hour. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so we have implementation, right? And then that will kind of trickle down to social proof, because I think the other thing that really goes into having an offer that people feel really excited to invest in is having results that speak for itself. And here's the thing, you guys, this is another thing that's like, it's not as complicated as you see, as maybe you think, because once people get the results, they want to share. Once people achieve their dreams, they want to shout it from the rooftops. It's not an inconvenience for them. Like, if you are really helping them with a massive goal, they're going to want to share that. The more they share that, the more credible your program becomes. People love testimonials, and the reason being is because they want to make sure that it doesn't just work for you. I know there are a lot of people in the industry who can create results for themselves, but have such a hard time replicating it for clients. And we'll talk about like sales strategy, buyer behavior, stuff like that. Like, I don't want to go too far into that realm. This is what happens, by the way, you guys. If you put me in front of a mic and you show up and hang out with me and I start talking about something I'm passionate with, I could literally talk for 7 hours straight without a break and be so here, so present with you guys. But social proof, it's something to think about in the offer development stage, because I want to make sure I'm priming implementation, and then after that, I want to hear about it. I really want to hear about your results. And so whether that's like a survey you sent out, or if it is a mastermind, like having like a win check-in every Friday or something, but prompting people to share their experience. And they will be happy to once the prompt is there, especially if the implementation piece is in play and they are applying and they are doing the work and they're seeing the results that they want. So collecting that social proof, having that being something that you're thinking about in the very, very beginning. And then the last kind of trickle down of thoughts that I wanted to share with you was, and we covered this in the beginning, but like knowing how to market your offer is everything. It's not an afterthought. It's an initial thought. And positioning is everything. I could have called this a free 5-day challenge or what the heck is going on in my brain? I could have called it a free 5-day launch challenge. And it would have been the same. It would have been the same. Like I would have been here. We would have been talking about the same thing. But how much more experiential is launch party week with the champagne and it's a party and we're doing a goodie bag? It's all about the positioning. It makes it stand out. And so the positioning of whatever you're marketing and whatever you're offering should be something that you start to think about. How can I make this more appealing? How can I make this something that cuts through the noise? I believe positioning is everything. And when I have clients who they're like, oh, well, things are quiet, or I don't know, like it's just not going the way they want, or people aren't resonating. I'm like, how can you position it differently? You don't need to tear down all the walls. You don't need to throw away your program and put it in the garbage. It's probably fine. It's probably just a positioning thing that people aren't resonating with the way that it's positioned. And like I said, it's tomato. Like this 5-day challenge would have been a 5-day challenge if I would have positioned it that way. But I wanted to position it like a party because that's the vibe. So positioning of your offers is something else that's really important. And then the experience behind it, making them a part of the process when you can. And so it might be something like, hey, I am thinking about creating a insert program. I'm thinking about creating this course for women who want to learn how to launch and get their business off the ground. And then I would like ask my audience, like, would you want hands-on support, or do you just want a self-study course or a mix of both or something like that? And then I would pull them. Or like launch party week is coming back. Like what is the number one topic that you want to see? Like making them a part of the experience and giving them those prompts to be a part of it will keep them engaged throughout the entire launch. And the same is true with your offer. So when you're in offer development, when you can share those questions and make them feel like they're a part of the decision-making process, they're going to be a lot more invested into the program as a whole, especially when it launches. And if you've already have a program and you've launched it a couple times and you're just looking to refresh it or innovate it or upgrade it, you can do the same thing and like just check in with your audience to see where they are. Let's go. Thanks, Ashley. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna make me cry. How far in advance should you promote a launch? Okay, so we'll talk about this a lot, Sam, when we go over strategize to sell. I will say my launch process is about 6 weeks. That's not how it has to be. That's another thing I want you guys to know about me. I try to avoid the word should and have. Like it's my job. I don't believe in shoulds. I think that's like a very restrictive word. So I'm happy to share the way that I do things, but inside 5-figure flow, especially in that process, it's adaptable. And especially if you're a launch virgin, I don't recommend doing the full scale launch because there's a lot of moving pieces and it can feel like a lot. And so there's something called a beta launch, or we call it like the messy as fuck launch, where it's just like, just do it quick and dirty in a couple of weeks, get the data, get some feedback, and launch it again. So it can vary anywhere from 2 weeks to 8 weeks, I would say, is about what the launch process looks like. So, oh my gosh, that was a lot. I hope you guys loved this day. This was so much fun. We will tally all the comments, all the questions that you guys had. If you want to screenshot this, post it on Instagram and tag me, and you'll get points there. We will post the leaderboard first thing tomorrow. I need a quick and dirty. I love that. 5-figure flow opens tomorrow. Tomorrow. The first 25 of you get a fucking epic bonus. I'm so excited to share it with you, but I'm not going to do it yet. You will get an email tomorrow. I will share more details with you tomorrow. But just know we will be talking about that program and celebrating it tomorrow. What we're going to do is break down a $75,000 launch that I had this past July. And I'm going to also break down a few other launches that I've had, break down some data. I'm going to go into that launch debrief that I shared inside the Facebook group with you guys. I want it to be like a case study. Here are the things that really worked. Here are the things that really moved the needle. And I think they're all going to be very surprising to you. I think the biggest takeaways will be things that you're probably not anticipating. And that's why I want to share those things with you. Let's see. If I'm launching an online shop, yes, 100%. That's another thing, you guys. Doesn't matter what you're launching. Shop, blog, podcast, freebie, offer, program, product, subscription box. We're always launching as entrepreneurs. So if you are ever finding yourself, well, if I'm launching, fill in the blank, will this work for me? Just know, hear my voice in your head. Yes. The answer is yes. And then if you guys are 5-figure flow students, which I know I have a lot of you on here, we have the Best Launch Yet membership on the backside. So if you want to enroll in that, you guys can just DM me. I did like a little pre-sale of it like a month ago. But if you want to join the Best Launch Yet membership, we'll get you a link, get you checked out. You can join us there because I'm doing a lot of like launch debriefing in the background of that around this launch. So if that is something that you guys want, just send me a text. Would you recommend doing DCA before 5-figure flow? Honestly, I love that question. I think 5-figure flow, the way that it's designed now especially, it covers all of those foundational things. So you guys will actually see there's going to be a button to like add DCA as like a checkbox upsell, like a one-time fee. We've never done that, so data to come on that. So you could actually get both, but I think 5-figure flow is like the place to be because it will grow with you, whether you're new or you're scaling. Like this program is so fucking good. This has been so helpful. Amazing. Love your delivery. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. What time does it launch tomorrow? The email goes out, I believe, at 2 o'clock. If you guys are hyped, I'll drop the link. Like, I'm ready to drop the link. I'm ready to fucking reveal this program. But tomorrow I'm going to stream through Zoom and actually show you guys the back end of it so you can see how robust and epic this is. But, okay, that's all. Show up. I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. If you're catching the replay, make sure you drop a replay and tag me on Instagram. And I'm so excited. Okay, I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you.